Hey guys, it's Jenny Silver. Today I decided to do a quick community post and gather a few of your questions to do a very brief Q&A for you. First, what happens after September with EDD? Well, EDD will continue to exist. EDD, the Employment Development Department, is the state unemployment insurance department, and it's going to continue to exist. What will cease to exist after claim week ending September 4th? We will see the end of the PEUC extension, the end of the PUA program, and the end of the $300 boost. UI will continue on as usual, and UI claimants can continue to apply for unemployment insurance and receive their full unemployment insurance claims. But Fed Ed will continue if the state unemployment rate remains high at 6% or above. Fed Ed also remains active if the state unemployment rate exceeds or equals 5% and is at least 120% higher than the average unemployment rate for the same period in the 2 previous years. Now that is a little bit complicated, and it is unlikely that it would meet that qualification, so we are looking mostly at the 6% or above rate in order for Fed Ed to continue. For those of you that have received UI benefits after the PEUC extension ends, you may qualify to go on a Fed Ed extension. For more information on that, click the link in the video description down below for the video that is called Benefits Ending, What's Next? And I go into great detail about this topic. Now, many of you are also asking me if there is the possibility for unemployment benefits for PEUC extensions and PUA in the $300 boost to be extended another time beyond September 4th. This would require additional legislation in Congress to be voted on and passed. We are not at the point where we are looking at anything being voted on or passed right now, but if anything changes, I will be sure to update you. For those of you who are collecting PUA or have reached the end of your PEUC extension and you do not qualify for Fed Ed, because PEUC and PUA will no longer exist, your balances will no longer be able to be paid out to you, and you will need to plan on an alternative plan at the end of claim week ending September 4th. The next question, I was receiving payments and got stuck in pending. I marked yes on my work search and even listed where I applied. I'm on regular UI. Any information would help. Now, many of you may have certified, you may have stated that yes, you were looking for work, and you may have listed your work search options, or you may have not. The work search option record is required to be listed only if you are a Fed Ed claimant. Fed Ed claimants are required to provide 3 work searches per week and list their work searches, whereas UI, PEUC, and PUA must perform 1 or more work search activities per week, and listing those is only suggested. Your pending status is most likely not tied to the work search activities that you reported, but rather tied to either some form of a stop payment alert applied to your claim or the need to undergo a new quarter wage review. For those of you that are collecting UI or PEUC or Fed Ed and your claim has reached the end of a year's worth of benefits and you are currently on an extension, the EDD is required to perform a quarterly wage review, wherein on many claims over a year old, they must ask you a series of questions in order to see if you have earned any wages and if you qualify to go onto a new claim. For those of you that find yourself stuck in pending, I want you to first make sure that you're not required to file a new claim. Go to UI Online, look at your claim start date, count 12 months out after that. If you're a UI, PEUC, or Fed Ed and you are beyond a year's worth of benefits, then you are required to file a new claim if you have worked and earned income within the last 18 months and it is enough to qualify you for a new claim. If that's the case, then you would be pending for that reason and you need to file a new claim. For just about all other cases where you have previously been collecting and you are stuck in pending, you guys will need to either, number 1, wait for conditional payments. The EDD has begun to pay out these pending certifications starting on July 23rd and moving onwards. According to the Class Action Settlement Agreement, the EDD is required to pay out those claims that have received one previous unemployment payment on their claim or more and are stuck in pending for over 2 weeks. They must issue these conditional payments sometime between July 22nd and September 30th, according to the settlement agreement. For those of you who can't wait or who do not want to wait, you may call into the EDD. In most cases, the EDD representatives are able to move you from pending to paid unless a phone interview is required. In most cases, you may also call into your assembly member. The California State Assembly members have been extremely helpful in getting claimants pushed from pending to paid. So I'm going to leave all of those links for each piece of information in the video description down below. The next question asks, my brother is confused. Back in April, he got denied for his benefits because he quit his job and he was stuck in pending, and now they ended up paying him. Would he have to pay the money back? The answer here is most likely yes, but there is a potential for an overpayment waiver to be granted. In order to collect and be eligible for unemployment benefits, you must have lost your source of employment through no fault of your own or for a COVID-related reason. Because he quit his job voluntarily and it doesn't seem to be due to a COVID-related reason, then he would be stuck in pending until they determine his eligibility. Because he is not eligible to collect those benefits, and he's certified that he was eligible to collect those benefits, they most likely are going to issue him an overpayment notice and want to collect those benefits back. Now, the EDD does have the option to apply for an overpayment waiver in this scenario, but there's no guarantee that he would have this overpayment waiver approved. In order to have the overpayment waiver approved, he would need to be able to demonstrate that he had severe financial hardship and that he also had these overpayments issued to him through no fault of his own. The next question asks, I am PEUC and certifying for last week. It says it's optional recording work search, but if you are Fed Ed, you have to record your work search. Is PEUC the same as Fed Ed? The answer here is no. PEUC is not the same as Fed Ed. In order to know which program you are, click on the History tab in the upper menu area and click on the most recent transaction that has been paid. There you will see the program code. If you're listed as Fed Ed, then you're Fed Ed. If you're listed as PEUC, Tier 2 or Tier 2 augmentation, then you are PEUC. And if you're listed as DUA, then you are PUA. Now, according to the EDD, PEUC is required to perform one or more work search activities per week, and recording these on the certification page is optional. Fed Ed is required to perform 3 work search activities or more per week, and recording them is required. Next, I'm a mixed earner and self-employed who is put on unemployment. Why do I have to look for work if I'm self-employed? The EDD is going to continue to pay out your benefits if you are searching for suitable work. There is a variety of different work search activities that you can do in order to satisfy the work search requirements. Now, the PUA search requirements and the UI work search requirements are different. Because you're a mixed earner, you were classified as unemployment. UI. So the EDD is going to want you to still satisfy those UI-based requirements, but the UI work search activities don't have to be necessarily applying to jobs. There are a variety of different work search activities that you can perform, including simply searching job boards, networking, or seeking out employment opportunities in other ways. Now, because you are a mixed earner, you may be trying to focus primarily on rebuilding your self-employment or your small business or whatever it is that you do in terms of self-employment. In that case, continue to try to focus your efforts in that area, but because you are collecting traditional unemployment, I would also recommend that you do something from the traditional unemployment work search activity list, such as networking, talking to friends and family about job opportunities, pulling up job boards and job listings and running a simple search, seeing what's out there and screenshotting your results to save for your records. Now I'm going to go ahead and take this last one, which was the only non-EDD related question in this community post. So I'm just going to go ahead and humor it. At any of your weddings that you have covered, have you ever been hit on by either the bride and or groom? Or if Mike was with you, did either the bride or groom hit on him? Now, many of you know that I'm a wedding photographer, and that's my primary pre-pandemic source of income. The answer here is no, you guys. I am a mess at weddings. I am carrying loads of gear. I'm usually directing large groups of people. I'm constantly moving and constantly busy. No one wants to get near that. But previously, about maybe 8 years ago, in the first few years of wedding photography, my husband, Mike, was my second shooter, and he hasn't been in quite some time, but he did second shoot for me earlier on, and Mike was very popular amongst the male guests. So there was one time when there was an entire table, the reception, of male wedding guests found my husband quite attractive. I then decided to go over and drop something near the table and make Mike pick it up. And it was a very, very popular move. Okay, you guys, I hope that was helpful. Please click like, subscribe, leave me a comment down